Well, good morning, kids. Pastor Al here. Nice to have you with me this morning. Hey, have you ever got something that you didn't expect and you didn't deserve, or you couldn't pay for, and you were kind of blown away by it? I remember when I was a kid one time, I was in elementary school. I went up to a little ice cream place in Eagle Rock, which is a part of Los Angeles. And it was kind of like a Dairy Queen, but it was just like outside. It didn't have any inside area. And I had figured I just had enough money to buy a small ice cream. I think at the time it was about 27 cents, but I didn't have any more money than that. And I got up to the counter, in line. A guy in front of me left with a drink in his hand. And I got up there, and there was a guy behind the counter there. And he has this huge ice cream cone, like a soft serve cone that's like about a foot tall. And he said, you know what, the guy in front of me, I made this for him, but he decided he didn't want it. So if you want it, you can have it. Well, he didn't have to ask me twice. I was blown away. I couldn't actually finish it all. It was amazing. It was like one of the incredible things I remember from when I was a kid. Every now and then something happens to us where, well, we have something wonderful happen to us that we don't really deserve. Something that may be really cool that wasn't made for us, but we get it. Someone does something very kind for us that really helps us. When I was in Greece a couple of years ago, the country of Greece, I noticed that when we make a stop, our bus driver would get out of the bus and he'd open up the side doors of the bus where there was storage, and he got something out. So I watched him one day. When I discovered he was doing, he had a big bin in there full of dog food. And almost everywhere we stopped, there were stray dogs. In the country of Greece, there are a lot of stray dogs, and they're pretty thin and they're always pretty hungry. Well, he always brought food with him so that he could feed those dogs. And I thought that was super cool for him to do that. In fact, at the end of the trip, I gave him a really big tip because I wanted to have a little extra money to buy dog food. I actually found a video of someone who is in a country called the Ukraine who does this regularly. And it's really kind of cool. The video starts kind of fast. I speeded it up so it wouldn't be so long. But watch and see what this woman does for an amazing bunch of dogs who really have to scrounge and scavenge for everything else they eat. That's pretty cool, huh? I'm showing you this not just for fun, but because there's a story in the Gospels. And the Gospels are the books that record what Jesus did and what he said when he was on earth. And Jesus is sitting at dinner with somebody, and he starts to tell them what we call a parable. That's a story with a message, a story that has some truth in it. Not something that actually happened, but something that has a lesson to it. And he tells a story about a man, a great man, who had a great feast planned, invited a bunch of people to come, all his friends and the important and well-to-do people in town. And when it came time to come to the feast, well, they all said they were too busy. So what did he do? He actually sent his servants out to get all sorts of other people to come. People that hadn't been invited, people who didn't deserve to be there or belong to be there. They were the people that no one really thought much about. They were poor. They might have had some physical problems. They might be blind. They might not be able to walk. They were kind of the messy people that were in town. And he said, go and get them, bring them into my table, because I want to have my feast full. And when he got all them, they actually went out further and looked for other people, just so the feast would be full. And they all had a magnificent feast together. You can imagine, although it's just a story, that for a lot of these people, it would have been the best meal they've ever had in their life. Now, there's something for us to learn about this, is that God invites us all to come to his table and to have amazing fellowship with him. A lot of people who should come to that table just find themselves too busy, and they're more worried about themselves than they were about God. But God then reaches out in his love to love the people that maybe aren't so lovable, people who may not actually deserve to be loved because they've made bad choices in their life. And you know what? That's kind of all of us. And God has this amazing banquet, this amazing meal, this amazing feast for all of them. The biggest ice cream cone they ever had. So I want you to think about what that story teaches us. We're kind of those people on the outside that Jesus invites in. He gives us his love, not because we're good or smart or perfect, but because he wants his table full, and we're the ones he chooses to love. We need to make sure that when the table is set, that we show up for dinner. Remember that God loves you, not because of what you do, but because he chooses to love you, and he chooses to call you, and we need to come to dinner when the master calls. Think about that. Have a great day. I hope some of you are actually not just going to be watching this on a screen, but are going to be here at church this morning, because we're having, well, it's not a feast after church, but having a nice little meal, and I've got a bounce house here for you all to bounce in. So take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye.